back at it again. Ah. Excuse me, 2 seconds. All right. Don't fall. There we go. Almost was bad. Almost didn't recover from that. that we once knew. What the? still held on. He came and went, Dad still held on. Sign of my regret. Reclaim the nights you spent. She never meant, but here we are. Gin a bottle. Hope you'll never. Second verse, same as the first. Good evening, Commissar. Good evening, Johnny. Behind bottle for space and time. Sorry, all the world could have been with you and I. Message in a bottle. Take me down. Surf it makes me strong. My crown surface hollows all our lives. Since I've lost the as you see the cost. Please up your halls, your kingdom as your world falls. Armies to guard their walls. I did. I decided to go with green, actually. Just to break it up. If it wants to zoom in. See what I mean? I decided to use green to break it up. I hope it's not like too contrasting. I just used scorpion green. I didn't do any sort of like bright work or anything like that. But I figure green would go kind of would like stand out a little bit with the brass or sorry, the bronze and the gold. At least that's what I figure. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work, but we'll figure it out. It doesn't read as Santa's elf. I think it's a cool color contrast. Looks good. Okay, all right. As long as it was either that or a blue, but I think I'm gonna do the metals blue and yellow. Let me pull up my. Yeah. Let's see if there is a metal. Oh, there's a green and yellow. Yeah, we can do that one. Ah. Come on. Been around the world, around the seven seas. The only one that see my love. All right. We're gonna need a deep green. So we'll crack open a Caliban green. I don't think I have one that's not opened. World's 100 fantasies. The only one I need my love. Oh, I think I found a dead one. Good evening. How are we? Hoy, good evening. Good evening, good evening. How are we today? Oh, thank you for the raid, Nami. I think this one's dead, folks. Oh, well, that's disappointment. Well, that sucks. When he did printer maintenance, then painting minis tonight. Oh, okay, well, how was the mini painting going? This one has a little bit more promise. Got a missile and howitzer from the AT-AT. An AT-AT from the box, finally. Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. Since comms, it's okay. It's alright. No worries. Alright. How we're doing? Trying to get this, like... Ah! Crap. Tiny, tiny little medallion. Oh, come on now. Come on. There we go. Tiny little medallions giving me problems. Okay. Now we just touch up with some Caliban. The devil is, in fact, in the details. Yes, it is. Okay. There we go. Okay. Here we go. All right, hold on. Every sword and every shiver. I gotta look at something, so I want to make sure I get this right. Silver for the eyepiece. Okay, all right. That's what I thought. View. I am doing all right. We're currently working on a Commissar for my army. God fething. Ah. I hate that. Ugh. That was annoying. What? I mean, the world is treating me as well as it can be. This guy. What is this he is? Oh, that's irritating. Oh, I hate it when when I have just enough paint on the brush, but I think it's enough paint, but it's actually all water, and then it bleeds all over the face. Ah, particularly white paint. White paint's the worst to it's like light flesh tones, lighter colored paints do that the worst. Where you think you've loaded up the brush enough with a thick amount to like get that fine point, and then it just bleeds all over because it's too watery. Whoa, infuriating. Luckily, I was able to recover it without too much damage on the model. See, and this is what I mean. Like, oh, maybe I can't describe it, or maybe I can't show it to you because it's not in focus. So I have just enough white on the nib of the pen, but it's not sitting on the actual tip of the bristle. It's sitting in the mid bristle, which is infuriating. There we go. From the belly of the yeah, basically. Yes, yes, the double entendre. I really do hate that though, because then it screws up what you're working on. Mind out of the gutter, sir. You want to get demonettes? Because that's how you get demonettes. Yes, basically. There we go. That's his face. This is about as good as I can get it done. I'm going to try and get that eye a little angled better. Yeah, that'll do. That actually is a little better. That's his face done. All right. All right, let's start putting him together very slowly. Into warrior, warrior, warrior. And there goes his head, even though I said, let's put him together very slowly. Damn it. It shot off like a rocket. Oh, well, I see it at least. I'm afraid. In a state. You hide to seek your light. The pays and lights your royalty, royalty. I hate it when they make the faces so damn tiny. We have no heads. We have no heads. We have no heads. Good old Dennis Leary. Such a great satirist and comedian. Never play Malefax. You think Warhammer piece are tire, or never assemble and play paint Malefax. Well, you know, there's only so much you can do at that point. Royalty, royalty. Oh, god damn. Again. Side, don't you hide and take your light. Alright. This is going to require a precision glue job. There are models where the head, face, hair, and are all three separate pieces. That is a nightmare. That sounds like just a day of hell for me. God damn it. Come on, I literally had it the first go around. Oh. Yeah, there's the piece. Oh. This is the part I hate. I hate is like the smallest pieces. I should have just put the commissar's head together. Faith in $20 in my pocket. One song talks about chocolate. Alright, slightly aggravating, but I think I got it fixed. Boy. I just need to do some touch-ups on the skin. Oh, it's very irritating. And that was my old friend. I walked alone on the streets of cobblestone. Hey, how's it going? Shoot the neon god they may. As long as it's warning. No, I don't think I never thought I was gonna freak out. Have I looked into Trench Crusade? I have not. Yep. I mean, I've heard of it. I've looked into it, but I have not actually like actively explored the realm. Yeah, morning. Yeah. So I keep hearing. Okay. I'll watch it, but I'm sure the hype bubble will pop. It gives off uh, second, third edition 40K vibes, nitty gritty, and beautiful models as well. Well, from what I understand, none of the models are published. It's all 3D printed for right now until they can actually like mass manufacture. Correct? My only hesitation with Trench Crusade, right? My only hesitation with Trench Crusade if you will allow me such a grievance, is um, it's really new, um, and it's kind of, but they're still gorgeous. No, I have no doubt that they are very pretty models. Again, my only grievance with Trench Crusade, if you will allow me to have it, well, I'm going to have it anyway, but if you allow me to get my thoughts out, um, uh, is that, oh crap, that was a piece of dried glue. There it is. Oh, nope, crap. Oh, well, that's going to bite me in the ass when I'm trying to vacuum. Okay. Um, is okay, so my only gripe with Trench Crusade is, unlike in 40K where there is uh what's it called? Unlike 40K where there are planets that are untouched by war. Usually in the lore they're considered pleasure planets, or they're agri worlds, or even Gudrun. A good example, Gudrun. The Imperial planet of Gudrun didn't have an issue with chaos for the longest time. Um, and it was like your normal, everyday Imperial Guard life, or sorry, Imperial citizen life. You don't have that in Trench Crusade because the entire world is at war. You have New Antioch, the Prussian kingdoms, the Tsarist faction of Russia, the principalities of Ukraine. You have um, uh, you have basically the England and all that stuff. You don't have like a place where you can look into Trench Crusade and say, oh, you know, these X, Y, and Z factions come from this this country, and this is how they live their life. It's very much it doesn't matter where you're from, everywhere sucks. And I think that's my biggest gripe about Trench Crusade. I mean, 40K is not better, but at least, in my opinion, at least there's something the Imperium is fighting for. Like, even though life sucks in the Imperium, they're still fighting for something. Whereas, um, the in trench, like the fact that in trench cruise, it doesn't matter if they're fighting for the holy church, right? It's still fucking awful. um to be fair, it's like 1922 in the lore, though. No, but hear me out. Even during World War II, or sorry, even during World War One, Brits were still having, you know, unless you were actually on the front lines of France, and unless you were basically on the front lines in France, so you say it's all negative. I don't. I Look. I'm not trying to hate on it. I'm just saying I think it needs a little bit more time in the cooker before I can really make a good yay or nay on it. Um, I think I think as dystopian and as backwards and as horrific as 40K is, there is still pieces of it that's like, oh, I can, I can understand why people continue to endure, kind of a thing. Right. Yeah, but you can't have a Christmas truce in Trench Crusade. That's what I'm getting at. Like you can't have a Christmas truce in Trench Crusade because the enemies, quote unquote, that you're fighting are literally demons from hell and the undead and the Black Grail, like the pox, the basically, Nurgle demons. But what I'm getting at, so even in that horrific melee that was World War One, you still had bits of humanity. And if you go further from the front lines, right? If you could be in Paris and have a semi-normal life, you could be in England and have a semi-normal life, you could be in Germany and have a semi-normal life. Uh, you know, the only thing is that there's a war going on. That's the only difference. Whereas in Trench Crusade, you couldn't have a semi-normal life because nowhere is safe. There are hell portals and infiltrators fucking everywhere. It feels like, um, and aside them fighting obviously the forces of hell, and that's the reason why they fight. And but Germany is just a semi-normal life. No, no, no. What I'm saying is that like during World War during World War One, right? If you were in some of the lore, it's hinted that there are some war zones it's hinted outside some war zones in 20th century cities. Okay, all right, that's fine. I'm just saying as it was presented, especially with that map, it seemed like everyone was totally screwed. Nowhere is safe, but there are peaceful cities. Nothing definite. Okay, all right. So when they first introduced the map, it seemed like everybody was at war, and that's what I was trying to get at. Like even war-torn Imperium, you could theoretically live a quote-unquote peaceful life in the Imperium as an Imperial citizen and be good to go. Kind of a deal. Because if everywhere was under attack and everyone was having a shitty time, my problem is it's too much based on our world. I mean, yeah, yeah, there is that. You are most definitely right in that aspect. But again, I think Trench Crusade is an interesting premise. I think once it has time to flesh itself out, then maybe it'll be a little bit more of an interesting uh, uh, story for me. But as of right now, I mean, the biggest issue for me, if I'm being honest with being with Trench Crusade, is that even the supposed good, even the supposed like forces of the church. Yeah, I think it does need a little bit. I think my biggest issue is even the forces of the church, right? Um, Gameplay is fun though. Oh no, I'm happy that the gameplay is fun. I'm happy that it all works out, and I'm happy that what's it called? And I'm happy that it's very interesting. I just think it needs a little bit more time to cook. And currently, my judgment is like it needs more time, and I think that maybe as a whole, the Trench Crusade factions need to mature a little bit. It feels like Doom. Yeah, like again, don't get me wrong. I love the models. I think the models are really interesting. I love the artillery witch. That is what a psyker in my mind probably should be. The Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent is honestly super sick. I guess my one gripe is that there's some stuff that I guess the forces of New Antioch is doing that I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You guys are doing kind of the wrong thing. And it's like um, when they're using quote unquote Metachrist figures to develop weapons and all that stuff. I like Plague Knight. I saw many 3D printed models. Definitely worth to buy. Like I get it, the forces of hell. The one thing I kind of disagree with on a more of an intellectual level when it comes to Trench Crusade is obviously they're using religious aspects, which is all well and good. Any good story is going to have a religious ability or sorry, a religious undertone. Particularly when you're talking about obviously the forces of hell and everything like that. I again totally get it, totally understand it. My argument is that even in the fucked up world that is Trench Crusade, um, there's just some stuff that like New Antioch is um, doing religiously, like in a theological perspective. I'm like, well, that's technically worse than the forces of hell. Particularly when they're talking about the quote unquote Metachrists. Um, and for those of you that don't know what the Trench Crusade Metachrist is, it's basically a cloned. They basically scraped enough DNA off of the true cross and the nails of the crucifixion to clone a a facsimile of, the supposed savior of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and um, they're putting that individual through torment and torture constantly in order to get their sanctified blood. And to me, it's like, 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 yes, I understand, religion in extremis does extreme things, and then humans put into extremis is does extreme things. Um, but like that is where kind of like, okay, I get it. You're using real world religions and you're developing these very powerful, very blessed weapons, and you have to have an explanation for them. But there's a difference between good grimdark and tasteless. Yeah, I think it's super dope. I mean, they're fighting an extinction event, so what are you gonna do? That's an insult in my eyes, and I'm not even Christian. Again, like, you could make, okay, you could make the argument that it's no different than the Emperor being shoved into the Astronomicon and force fed, 1,000 psychers a day. I think it's now up to 3,000 psychers a day, right? Um, but in my mind, if you were able to clone your savior with all of the divine properties that your savior has, wouldn't you that'd be like actually Fabius Bile did it. Fabius Bile managed to clone Primarchs. And the only reason why he stopped cloning Primarchs is because um, he realized that they were flawed. Like, he realized he didn't have the special sauce that the Emperor had. And even when he did manage to clone a perfect Fulgrim, he was just like, oh, you have the same flaws as my Gene Father. You just haven't found the demon sword yet. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at with Trench Crusade. Therein lies my problem. You can say, hey, this is an alternate reality and timeline, but did anyone bother asking the representatives of the religions portrayed if they were cool with these ideas or not? I agree with that, and kind of counter with, you're never going to please everybody. Um, Again, I think Trench Crusade has a very interesting potentiality about it. Um, uh, I think it has an interesting potentiality about it. The problem is that you'll never make people who you will never make the entirety of religion okay, especially when they're dealing with a particular. I mean, hell, people were upset about Doom for the longest time, even though the premise of the game is you're blowing demons away in hell. Um, a lot of you know conservative, you know, and maybe it was the small extremist minority, but there was a time, and I don't know if there still are, but there was a time where there was a bunch of vocal groups that were like, oh, video games are getting too violent, you know, and they involve, like, they're doing all kinds of disgusting things, and involving like religion and all that stuff. So, like,
what I would say is what what I would say is I think it's heavy-handed. I don't know. I think it needs some more time to cook. I really do. I think it's got some really interesting alternative history logic, um, good gameplay systems, great miniatures, and they're not too particularly fussy about third-party versions of their units. Well, that's good. But I think there's going to be a lot of controversy over time. Yeah, well, anything that heavily involves religion will be. And Trench Crusade is kind of one of those things where it heavily involves religion. And right now, it's not a good time to be religiously controversial in the United States, especially. Um, I think it ebbs and flows. I don't know if it's a good time ever to be controversial, but you know, there's definitely been a run on that stuff recently. But again, I'm not hating on Trench Crusade and I'm not hating on the style. I think that there's just some. I think they've made some choices um, that I don't particular that doesn't sit well with me, like story wise. And again, not hating on Trench Crusade. I know it's topics you really can't get into. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like if you stay outside social medias, you'll find people absolutely getting along, except no, really not. Except, well, to quote Dr. King, a riot is the language of the unheard, right? And to paraphrase Dr. King, uh, um, violence is the last refuge of the unheard and downtrodden, right? Both sides. Both quotes apply. Um, Again, I do not advocate for violence. I don't think that violence is the answer. I think that we can handle things appropriately. Um, the only thing I am going to say about the whole incident, the whole issues with what's going on in LA right now is I believe that there is government overreach when it comes to um, what ICE is doing. Uh, Speaking from a law enforcement perspective, what should happen is if you are implicated in a crime and you are found um, uh, if you are implicated in a crime and you are found to be undocumented, um, the fact that you are undocumented should not necessarily immediately uh, um, not nominate or immediately elect you for removal from the country. I think that there should be a process um, to where we look at people who have committed crimes versus the people that are just trying to get by. That is what I believe, and particularly with the government overreach. So how it is supposed to work is if you are undocumented and you commit a crime, local PD is supposed to pick you up. The local police are supposed to process you. Then you go to ICE. Once you go to ICE, then you go into their court system, and then they process you for either um, rehabilitation through um, rehabilitation through um, uh, the legal system, right? Whether it's the prison system or whatnot, or community service, whatever the case might be, and then go through the process of either getting documents or being removed, depending on how serious the crime is, or okay, you're here, or you didn't commit the crime after the investigation process. Now we're going to push you through and try and get you documents, or you know, we'll put you on some sort of tracking list, which normally that's what they do anyway. Um, and normally, immigration judges are fairly lenient if there's if for misdemeanors and petty crimes. From what I understand, again, I've done a lot of research on it because I have to for school for like law enforcement stuff. Currently, right now, that's not happening, and and the tactics being used is not okay. That's just my opinion on it. Um, I agree there should be a process, but not at the taxpayer expense. Figure out another way. It's going to be a taxpayer expense. There's no way to get around it. Whenever you're dealing with the justice system, whether it is whether it is uh, whether it is an American citizen or whether it is just a person, like say you're a tourist and you break the law, you still have to go through the American justice system. Any person that is on American soil um, fall has rights given under the Constitution, even if they are not an American citizen, because um, the Constitution doesn't say citizen. It never specifies citizen. It specifies persons. Um, uh, Particularly when it comes to like due process and all that stuff. So, um, yeah, uh, it's like the language is quite clear. I know it will be. It's unavoidable, but I wish it wouldn't be. You know, that's kind of the give and take of living in a society, functioning or otherwise. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna kind of speak on it for right now. Um, um, so yes, you pay for taxes everywhere else. However, income tax is mandated by the Constitution. It's actually a federal law. Um, it's actually a federal law that was upheld by the Supreme Court. I want to say it was like around 19 1900s is when it was put into effect, like early 1900s. Plus, uh, plus without income tax, right? We would not be able to fund the federal government. Um, Not to the effect that we do now. It's not vanishing. Plus you'll get that back in Medicare and Medicaid. Plus, here's the thing, and this is kind of my take on taxes. I would rather pay more in taxes to make sure that the people around me, the schools, the roads, the electricity, um, the hospitals, the firefighters, the police, all of that stuff gets improved. And I live in a area where education is good, medicine is okay, access to care is good. Where the police, particularly if you want to take it, I get it back, but let me at least. I mean, you are basically getting a majority of it back. I think when people actually when the I think I forget who did it, but basically there was an economist that did a lot of the math when it comes to taxes, and basically he said you're going to get, I think it was like a crazy amount back. I think it was like damn near 60% of the money that's being taken out of your paycheck back in Medicare and Medicaid. Plus, that's the other thing. Oh, thank you for the follow. Um, plus, that's the other thing about uh, the reason why taxes is good is that it it allows people to have a safety net when they're older and they can't work, right? No worries. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, back to. I think Trench Crusade is good. I think it needs work. Um, and I think um, own a couple of cows in Sunlier Farm. Well, I wouldn't know about that. Um, I would not know about that. I would like to actually grow a garden when I retire. That would be nice. Nothing fancy, just a lovely, um, nothing fancy, just a lovely like little garden. Maybe growing some fruit and vegetables, but that's about it. Actually, now on the subject of like farming and all that stuff, I would love to have an orchard. Like a few good flowering, fruiting trees, whether they're pear or apple. Um, it doesn't have to be like like an orchard, like an industrial orchard or even a mom and pop orchard, but like I don't know, 5 or 6 trees. That'd be fun. That'd be fun to have. It'd be a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but that'd be fun to have. I don't know, the idea to be able to just grow and have fruiting and producing, you know, it may take a while for you to harvest them, but you could have cloudberry bushes. What is a cloudberry? I've never heard of a cloudberry before. I've never heard of a cloudberry. Now I gotta look that up. That sounds amazing. What is a cloudberry? Hold on. Oh! Oh, I've seen these. Oh, they're very lovely. Also known as bake apple or Nordic berry. Oh, those are pretty. My property has a few pear trees. It's nice. Yeah, and that's another thing is like I would love to grow is maybe a few cherry trees. Like, Massachusetts has got very much similar weather to Japan, and I would love to have. Not that I don't think I'd be successful, but I would love to try and attempt to have flowering cherry blossom trees. getting there. Slowly, slowly, but surely getting there. Alrighty. Honestly, the idea of having like a bunch of stuff in a garden just sounds lovely. Don't you dare pop off. I will be very, very upset with you, good sir. Trying not to put a whole bunch of glue on this model. Oh, wrong one. Where the other one? There we go. All right. Oh, hi. Okay. Now we can finally do some touch-ups. All right. What time is it in America? It is almost midnight. Ugh. Son of a gun. Ooh, I almost screwed that up. Good thing I recovered that. Good thing. just needed blue. And hop to bed, and I'll see you in another rerun. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I really do. No, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Where is the nice blue? There it is. Go. 10 bits. Don't scare us black. There it is. Alrighty. We're getting there. How's it going? Well, we finally put the Commissar together. If it'll actually zoom in. Come on. Looking great. Yeah, looking great if it's blurry. Come on, zoom in, you damn. There we go. Yark is snoring really hard. That dude is napping. Well, actually, no, he's more sleeping, but still. That's my evil laugh. Oh, really? Why do you have an evil laugh? Should I be worried? I spent a good chunk of life wrestling with software. Oh, did you finally beat it? I think I've got a moderate victory. Oh, good, 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 good. It's always nice when you finally manage to beat software. All right, there's a commissar. He's built. Oh, let me mute this real quick. I'll have to mute I'll have to mute myself real quick. Is that like this? That's the 2012 from Arisia? From Arisia. This is your entire playlist from Arisia. Get the fuck out of here. I wasn't there in 2012, but oh man, now I'm definitely gonna have to listen to it. I can't obviously play it on stream, but Oh, now I just need to figure out how to stream it to that Discord voice chat. Oh, for music? Hold on. Music hall. Confirm. Permissions. You'll probably have to do a webhook. Ice cast, ice figure, try to figure. Now we're starting to regular Commissar content. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, let me just throw that back in recording. So when you do kick that bot on, I'm not blasting copyrighted music. we kind of talked about it already, Skrills. I'm not really going to touch on it again. Uh, uh, just because, like, I have to walk a very fine, because I'm still active duty, I got to walk a very fine line of what I can say and what I can't say. Um, um, but I'll say this, because this is kind of my stance. Um, Absolutely no one should be considered quote unquote illegal. Um, that is my you can say undocumented, um, you can say displaced, because that's what most immigrants are displaced for one reason or another. Hell, you can even say that you know you can even say unauthorized, if we really want to get more technical. But no human being is illegal. Um, Undocumented, yes. Uh, Unauthorized, yeah, we could probably have that. But no human being is illegal. Your existence is not illegal. Um, uh, that's my short take on that. Um, do I believe that uh, we as the United States have had a hand? Oh, I've said enough in these. Trying times. Yeah, I mean, there's more I could probably say. I just have to choose my words carefully. And like I said, because I'm active duty, I got to be very careful on how I choose my words. So, but that's the Commissar's stance. He was asking about current events, Guacamole, not fake factions. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Fantastic. Yeah, just trying to lighten the conversation. All right. No, I appreciate it, Guacamole. Okay. Um, if the damn if the damn camera wants to actually zoom in on the actual target I'm trying to show, there we go. All right, there he is. He's all done. With his bionic hand. I think he turned out pretty good. I think he turned out pretty good. I might have to do some like touch-ups. I don't know. What do you guys like? Like you guys say he's good, but what do you think? Like, is this battlefield ready? Is this table ready? Classic colors too. Yeah, I decided to stick with some classic colors. I was gonna do like a deep purple. I'd say he's tabletop ready. Well, you don't. Your commissars don't. Your commissars don't need just blast pistols. Um, war gear is free, so you should have whatever you think your commissar should have. I mean, if all you want is um, a lost pistol for your commissar, then sure. Um, but plasma is greater than lost pistol. um, if you want your commissars to have bolt pistols, that's perfectly fine. If you want your commissars to have plasma, it's perfectly fine. I will always run plasma and power sword. That's how I like my commissars. That's how I like any of my sergeants. Any of my sergeants or officers. It was always plasma pistol, power sword. Um, I. It's not that I don't like power fists. It's not that I don't like. Um, it's not that I don't like. Um, uh, other. Oh my god. It's not that I don't like other weapon options. I just prefer power swords and plasma pistols. I only wanted a lost pistol because the commissar was cheap. Now it makes no sense. Chain axes are underrated. Well, there was a commissar way back when that had a power axe and a handheld flamer. I modified it to be a plasma pistol, but yeah, there was a Commissar like that. Hell, I think I still have him somewhere kicking around. I'll have to dig him out. This is my plasma. This is my pistol. This is my gun. Whoops! It just blew up. I rolled a one. Yeah, yeah. Hazardous is a challenge sometimes. Power axe is good too. Yeah, it was an older model Commissar. It was an old metal model. All right. Yeah, I think he's battlefield ready. There we go. Power axe and had a skull on it. Yep, it sure did. Old metal model. Yeah, these frilly. It was great. Well, so epaulets were always going to have frill fringes. Is this the one I'm talking about? Hold on, let me check. Yes. Yes, hand flamer. That's the one. I've got that one, except I've modified it to be a plasma pistol. So I've got Commissar 2 um, without the Deathcore of Krieg mask. And then I've got that one, the one with the hand axe. Actually, that's my current Commissar for my army, for my Krieg army. You've seen him a couple of times. But now I've got this Commissar, and I'm going to build another one for another Death Corps of Krieg command squad. Ah, I've got a few. I've got a few Commissars actually, but because they're requiring 32 millimeter bases, all the old Commissars are on slotted bases, so I need to make them different. Honestly, I miss the old fancy Commissars. I do too. I do too. They were bombastic. Super bombastic. It's not the same with the oversized hats. Well, this one was pretty oversized. I think this one is pretty oversized. But this one's also not a new build Commissar. He was the last of the old breed. Yeah, he was. He sure was. All right. So, do we start the other Commissar? to think. Do we start the other Commissar? Um, just a question. If I were to buy a trench coat, should I get a normal size or something bigger or smaller? If you're going to get a cuirass, I would go larger. Um, but if you're going to wear what I wore, which was a dress uniform underneath the storm coat or the trench coat, don't get too big because then it's going to look like a horse blanket. Get something large enough to where you feel comfortable with a suit underneath. So like a suit jacket. Again, I would, if you're gonna get a trench coat to wear a cuirass underneath it, then I would get something large. But if you're gonna wear something for like a, so like what a storm coat is, right? You should get a storm coat that has enough room for you to have a sports jacket underneath it. Okay. Honestly, you should have a large enough storm coat slash trench coat for a three-piece soup. Or sorry, three-piece drive-by. Hope you were well. Oh, I appreciate it. We just finished a commissar. Thank you very much, Kit Bash Carnage. But yeah, if you're gonna get a trench coat, get one that you could fit a three-piece suit underneath it, and it'd be comfortable. Amazing work as always. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now, okay, it is midnight 11. We have an option. I can either start batch painting Cadian green, or I can say fuck it, go to bed, and then we can do Total War Warhammer 3 in the morning and get some rest. Because if we start batch painting, I don't know when I'm going to end this. That's the problem. Decisions, decisions. Let's leave it to the dice. Probably not. That's the problem. All right. 1, 2, 3. We batch paint for a little bit. 4, 5, 6. We end the stream. The dice have spoken. We batch paint. That was a 2 for those of you that were curious. batch paint for like another, I don't know. Batch paint for like another 40 minutes. Let's take a look at actually these fuzzier ones. See if I can't even. The sigh of disappointment you were leaning towards get some sleep. Part of me was, but then I realized that I do need to get this, that I do need to start batch painting. Not liking these fuzzy models. Alright, so what I mean by fuzzy is that the primer didn't set well on some of these models and it gave them a really bumpy texture. It's almost like if you 3D printed something and it came out in layers instead of a single sheet. Which is a shame because like the fronts is where they're getting that really bumpy texture and the backs is where they're getting like a solid like good coverage. And I don't know what causes it, but I fucking hate it. Oh, I hate grainy primer. Should scrub off a pencil eraser, rub it gently. Should scrub off the worst of it. Yeah, I'll just deal with it. I'll just paint over it. And these guys look like, I mean, not every uniform has to be clean and pristine. I know I'm not winning any beauty contests with these guardsmen, I'll tell you that much. If you do get a trench coat, you should get something that's modern. Something double button breasted. Um, you can get an old military style coat, but I would prefer. But I always recommend getting something a little modern because that modern look is gonna carry is gonna serve you well, regardless of like the fashion. Plus, unless it is a traditional military style storm coat, uh, if it's a particularly old one, it's going to be made out of wool, and wool is really hard to clean, and that is speaking from experience. Oh yeah, that's not looking bueno. might do the eraser thing, Johnny. This paint is not looking bueno on this model. I'm definitely not liking how it's turning out. I thought the paint would cover it a little bit. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, we're committed now. We're committed now. There's no turning back. Not for this. It's not even that. It just sits weirdly. It gives the paint the same texture too. Which I guess I should have seen coming, but I was hoping the paint would be creates a weird capillary action. Yeah. I was hoping the paint would kind of correct the mistakes and fill it in and present a more flat appearance. But it did not. It just gave a the same grainy. Like I probably son of a bitch. All right, well that's fucked. This one is no good. His legs are no good. Yeah. He's kind of okay. Damn it. It's such a fucking setback. Oh, it's gonna piss me off. All right, well, let's see who I can salvage. Man, you said an eraser? Yeah, because this is, you can kind of see it. This is what, like, it's super, like, it's super grainy. It's almost like stucco. But then, like, on the back, it's damn near clean. Like, I don't know how the primer went from that to that. And I got several models where that's a problem in some way, shape, or form. Like, obviously, I don't mind the base being all grainy because that's a base. It's like, whatever. What was the weather that you... it was like hot and 60. Or hot and 70. Something like that. It was ridiculous. It was a little windy, but not by much. Yeah, he's fucked. boots. Boots. He's kind of okay. Humid or dry? I was dry. He's not. His boots. His boot. Definitely his boot. Pants. Boot and pants. Looks like just his boot. Oh yeah, he's fucked. Yeah, he's screwed. Yeah, I've got the nothing bad batch of painting. Paint are exposed to cold temperatures. Yeah, it's just. They all have like a defect somewhere. Oh, he's okay. God damn it. Alright. Well, maybe that's the Emperor telling me, guess what, Chucklefuck? You're not doing shit today. I was really hoping that that paint would smooth it out. Fuck me. Yeah, I use short controlled bursts. Sometimes I just do a continuous spray if I'm trying to get them all together. But, fuck. Oh, it's infuriating. Waste of good models. That's that pisses me off. All right, well, we will. Hey, every hobby, every hobby has its setbacks. This just happens to be one of them. Where a bad prime job, I thought it would be fine with paint. It is not fine with paint. A bad prime job could ruin some models. I will still paint them and build them. I just don't know what I'm going to do with them. Maybe I can use them as like statues. I don't know. We're going to try and salvage these. I just don't know how much. Toothbrush. I wonder if acetone. I don't have any paint remover though. Or maybe a simple green? I've heard simple green is like a good primer paint remover. I just don't want to fuck with it. Plus, it's plastic. I really don't want to melt plastic. All right, well. Yeah, that's I wouldn't recommend plastic. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's so frustrating. Well, setbacks happen. Could try isopropyl alcohol too. Acetone will definitely melt it. Yeah, I figured as much. I've seen people acetone to make sprue glue. Okay, I see. Okay, so yeah. All right. Well, we gave it the good old college try, didn't we, folks? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for watching. My name is Commissar Hecht. I will see you guys in the next episode. If you guys have suggestions on how I will unfuck myself when it comes to gritty primer and how to remove it, please let me know because I need to basically soak some of these guys in a bath and then scrub them to death. Alcohol might work. I use my brushes to clean it. Okay. Damn it. Alrighty. Well, I'll see you guys in the next episode. If you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and please don't be a stranger. Bye bye.